I am Victor Egman, also known as Iggy on all the socials, and I am a content designer, which means I'm in charge of a lot of the narratives, but also a lot of systems and anything that where narratives and mechanics meet.
What has been your favourite thing to work on as part of the Custodian team?
One of my favorites was when I first joined the team. There was a work on Buff the Backlog. Some people had worked on making content for reanimating leviathans. It was quite underdeveloped. It was only one or two, and I thought who doesn't want to work on zombie dragons? So that's where I got my first start there. It was a lot of fun.
What is your favourite type of empire to play in Stellaris?
So I mostly prefer to play hive minds, which is very very narratively different from all the regular empires, and also mechanically quite unique, and that's a lot of fun.
Wide or tall?
I want to say tall, though it usually leads to wide because, the empires around me are guarding their borders, show a bit of weakness, and all of a sudden, you have some extra territory. It's their fault, really.
What has been your favourite Buffing the Backlog edition?
So I think my favorite Buffing the Backlog edition is probably now actually in the most recent time, because I got to work on the Enmity tradition tree, which was this really different tradition tree that leaned into having rivals and being really mean to each other, which felt like a really fun tradition to introduce because it was very it was intentionally very let's see here. It wasn't objectively the best in most cases, but when it was good, it was real fun.
What do you use as inspiration when writing content for Stellaris?
So a lot of the times, inspiration will actually just strike as I'm just walking around, listening to a podcast or something like that, and I will just whip out my phone, write a quick few notes hive mind, but where there is queens, and if you lose them, your hive gets sad, and that sort of things then lead to things like progenitor hive, for instance.
What's the funniest bug that you've had to fix working as a custodian?
When I first started, I got assigned a bug where it was when you, as a very heavily spiritualist empire, would become synthetically evolved, and you would all become robots. You would legally not allow robots to work ruler jobs. So all of a sudden, you all would become robots, and no one would be allowed to be a high priest anymore. And the entire economy would just crash.
How do you decide on what gets worked on and when in the Custodian team?
So a lot of it is, when it comes to getting your pitches through in the Custodian team, a lot of it is just having a good idea and getting other people on board. But a lot of the other times, other people have had good ideas. So it's a bit of a give and take, where you will have a good idea and you will present it to people, and if people agree with you, you'll get some resources, you'll work on this, and you'll implement it. But that also implies that you will support other people's ideas, and you will join anything else that gets pitched and worked on. And then, of course, we lean on our senior leadership to make decisions when there is too many ideas and too little resources.
What is with you in the whole hive mind thing?
So, yes, ever since Utopia came out, I've been quite obsessed with hive minds. They have always been my favorite piece of content to work with, which has been frustrating, right? It was very much because it didn't have a lot of support when it first came out, and took a while. So I really feel like I exemplify that one meme of gets hired onto game development team, fixes one bug, quits. Except I stuck around and added more and more content for hive mind. Because it is my favorite playstyle, and it's I'm out here making more and more of it, and I'm not going to stop. You can't. I won't.
Where did the idea for permanent employment come from?
Permanent employment was meshing of what I've discussed before, of having a mechanic that I thought was really neat, and having a narrative, and then mushing them together. Because I've been playing a lot of Magic the Gathering at the time, and in there is a faction who's all about enslaving the dead after they die, with contracts and stipulations and all that sort of stuff. Then I also thought there is no way for a megacorp to start with pop assembly speed, and that sort of meshed itself. And they're like, what if I allow some megacorps to build and assemble pops in a very limited manner? And that sort of meshed itself into a cool little narrative there.
If you could work on one thing, regardless of available resources, and have it end up in the game, what would it be?
I think I would really like to work on more Fallen Empires at this point. I think that could be a really cool addition that we haven't done in a long time.
What was your favourite joke or meme that ended up disrupting the entire office?
There was a lot of fish puns when we were developing aquatics. People were shellfish, there were seals of approval, every day, all day long. Yeah.
What's your favourite in-game Easter egg?
So I'm gonna be a bit shellfish here and mention one that I implemented, which was I implemented the giant alien arachnids, and they are no joke, as you might know if you've played the amazing game FTL. But well, if you are an arachnid, maybe you can communicate and figure out what their deal is.
Okay, that's everything.
Perfect.
Yeah, thank you.